Okay, for this section, we're going to look at quadratic looking equations, and these are going to be ones that they have three terms, and they almost look like ax squared plus bx plus c, but those exponents just aren't quite right, okay? It may be that they are like x to the fourth and x squared, or x to the 2/3 x to 1/3, something that just looks a little bit off about it, and it's not quite that full quadratic, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to treat it very much like quadratic. We are going to get all of our parts on one side. We're going to do a substitution in here. Think about you decide to go on a European vacation. You're going to take American dollars. You're going to take them over to Europe, and you're going to convert them to euros, okay, for the country that you happen to be in, or whatever their currency is. While you're there, you're going to use euros. You're going to use that kind of money. And then when you come back, you want it back in American dollars. So you're going to have to convert back, okay? So especially going to put it into a format that we like and that looks better than what we have. So the particular one that we're going to look at is we're going to look at x to the fourth minus 5x squared plus 6 equals 0, okay? And so we notice that it does look very quadratic. It's got the three pieces. It's got, you know, a higher powered variable, a variable that has less of a power, and then a plain number back here at the back. It just doesn't quite look right. So the way that we're going to do this, and I'm going to use color here to help me out, is I'm going to pick a letter, and I'm going to use the letter U. And I'm going to say that U is going to be equal to just this part right here. I'm going to leave the coefficient alone. So it's going to be equal to x squared. Now, in order to make this a quadratic, I am going to need like a U squared. And so I'm going to check and see what that would be. So I've got x squared, which is x to the fourth, which happens to be what I have here. So now I'm going to do my trade. I'm going to change out for what I've got. So I've got x to the fourth is u squared. So I've got u squared minus 5, and then x squared was just the letter u, plus 6 equals 0. So now this does look very much like a traditional quadratic. We can solve using any of our methods. This one will factor. So I've got u minus 3 and u minus 2 for my values here. Okay. So I'm going to do u minus 3 equals 0, u minus 2 equals 0. We're going to add that 3. So I get u is 3. I'm going to add that 2 and get u equals 2. Now, I'm not done here because I'm still in the variable u. So now is when I'm going to switch back to my other one. Okay, so I go back, u is x squared. So now I have x squared equals 3 and x squared equals 2. And now I'm going to solve the way I normally would. So square root on both sides. Again, I brought in the square root. So I'm going to need to bring in the plus and the minus version. I am going to use that combined version there with the plus minus. I'm going to bring in square root on both sides over here. Again, those will cross off. And this is, again, I'm going to bring in my plus minus and my square root of 2. So here's a set and there's a set. I actually have 4 answers total if I were to write those in their separated forms.